the system.
What's up, everybody? It is the Healers to Bowers once again. Sorry about that little interruption. We had to redo the podcast because we've had interruptions after interruptions. But I am your co-host, Heel Balor, WILLIE, MES, and I'm here with my friends, Rice to Ryan.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? The double R Rice to Ryan. So, back here once again. Hope you guys enjoy this podcast. So, good to hear from all you guys again.
My good friend, KELSEY, at Flair Section.
Yo, what's up? I hope all y'all are doing good today.
And our good friend, Christian freaking Maracle. How you doing, man?
We're all good friends here.
Hell yeah.
In case you heard some awkward tones, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually, no joke, our second take of the podcast.
For the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen. No joke.
Yeah, we had to redo it, apparently, because there was some situations going on, a lot of background interferences, so that's why we're here to restart things up. But thankfully, of course, you guys don't know that, so you're not gonna.
Well, now they do.
Well, they're not gonna feel any different.
True.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be here to talk about the Money in the Bank ladder match. But before we do, I just want to take this moment and say, our good friend Connor at BCN Rollins, he's no longer part of the Losers Lounge podcast for a while, anyway. The door may be open for him to return in the future, but I think for now he's taking a break.
We miss you, Connor.
People ask, Ryan, go right ahead before I say something. Go right ahead.
All right. I was going to say, we miss you, Connor. We love you. We hope you come back. But definitely take
Get your ass back here.
Anyway, and before
back here.
Anybody starts typing in the comments, oh, can I be a part of the Losers Lounge? Oh, and can I be a part of the Losers Lounge? We're going to politely say no. And here's the reason why. This is made for us. This is a group thing only. It started with us, it's going to end with us. Just because Connor's gone does not mean we're going to replace him. Nobody in the lounge is being replaced. We're leaving it at that. So politely stop asking us questions about that, okay?
And don't think that we hate you or anything that. We don't. It's just that this is just a friends only thing. And we appreciate you asking, but it's just kind of a friends thing only.
Podcast, and aside from that, it gets really stressful too.
It does.
It does.
We're problematic people.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what we're going to be doing. Like, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is coming up in a couple of weeks on Sunday, June 17th on the WWE Network. And in the hype to it, we're going to be talking about the Money in the Bank ladder match and its history and our favorite moments from it. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sounds good. And too sweet.
He's been in the ladder match, too.
Yes,
so,
last night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning from 2005. 2005 is when it all went down. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match took place at WrestleMania 21. Edge was the one who won it, and the other participants were Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Christian, Kane, and Shelton Benjamin. That's a lot of Chris's.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's lots of Christians, you know?
Ain't no stopping me.
A lot of Chris's.
That's true. Let's go through individually each one of you guys. Willie, what'd you think of the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match?
At the time, it was very new concept, and I thought it was pretty good. Very good way to introduce the match in its entirety, and great spots, and very good wrestlers to be a part of the very first ladder match. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, very much. Ryan, what'd you think of the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match?
I thought it was awesome. Indeed, I was a huge Chris Benoit fan, despite all that other crap, but wrestling-wise, he was fantastic, and I was rooting for him to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, but I was happy to see Edge win it, and I think it was pretty cool to see him hold the first ever briefcase for the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match.
So, yeah, that went very well. And, Kels, what'd you think of the first ever?
I don't really remember it very well because, you know, my memory's kind of meh. I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
Thank God that's what we got the network for.
That's right.
For real.
But go ahead.
But yeah, I don't really have much to say because I don't really remember. So.
All right.
Hope that doesn't make me a fake fan.
Oh God, no, not a chance. Like, I've been watching them since like. I've been watching since like 1999, and there's still a lot of it that I don't remember.
I've been watching since 2007, so.
That makes me feel better.
It's all right. Let's fast forward a little bit. Edge held on to that briefcase for the longest time. He held on to the longest until Carmella. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, Edge, when he first ever cashed... Actually, I'm going to say it again. That made no sense. My grammar sucks tonight. When Edge cashed in the briefcase against John Cena at New Year's Revolution in 2006, first of all, Ryan, what'd you think of that moment?
I thought it was really cool. Edge defeated John Cena with 2 spears, and Edge won the WWE Championship. So it was a really cool moment because this was basically, I think, in my opinion, the beginning of building Edge into one of the top heel superstars of the company. And, he's just been really good ever since. And, winning WWE Championships and World Heavyweight titles from then on out. And I think that was basically the start to building Edge as one of the top heel guys of the company. And if he was not, the best heel at that time, he was definitely, second best. But he was definitely an awesome heel.
That's for sure. Kelsey may not remember the first time Money in the Bank ladder match, but I'm pretty sure you remember when Edge cashed in the briefcase.
Hell yeah! That was like I was like the biggest Edge mark ever. Like, Edge was my fave.
Actually, wait, I think back in 2005...
Not gonna lie.
Actually, I think back in 2005, we weren't marks, we were like Edge heads or something.
Yes.
Yeah, Edge heads. Yep.
Oh my god. But yeah, that was a great moment. I was so happy. I don't remember how old I was, but I just remember, like, when he won, I was, like, so happy. Like, Edge is my all-time favorite. Like, I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like, he's my all-time favorite. Or one of my all-time favorites. But
that's really good. And, Willie, what'd you think of Edge's cash-in?
It was pretty good. Took 2 spears to beat Superman, but at the time, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is actually a very cool move and a very cool concept that they came up with, even though I didn't start watching until 2007, but still. I think they chose the right man to win the inaugural match and be the very first man to cash in. So I like where they went with that.
Let's just be thankful he didn't cash in and lose.
Oh my
We'll get
god,
to that later,
that would have
ladies
been
and gentlemen.
horrible.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
the
lots
first
to say on Bill cash-ins.
Yeah. As for me, when Edge cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase, the one thing my reaction, of course, was I was also ecstatic. It was 2006, I believe. I was 9. I was going to be 10 that year, so. And I was happy because somebody from Toronto, my hometown, actually won the world title.
Hell yeah.
Because, of course, you know me, anybody who's from Toronto, I root for, except if I don't like them. And the Maple Leafs. Okay, I don't want to start dissing my own hockey teams here.
You might, yeah. Really, you might get some comments like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's true. Fast forward, WrestleMania 22, the Money in the Bank ladder match continued. They decided to continue that. In this case, we had Rob Van Dam who won that Money in the Bank ladder match as he defeated Shelton Benjamin, Matt Hardy, Finlay, Bobby Lashley, and for some insane reason, Ric Flair.
Yes, Ric Flair, folks.
At 57 years old.
57 years old, Ric Flair was in a ladder match.
And also, Matt Hardy was not broken back then, and Bobby Lashley was actually relevant.
And Shelton Benjamin was also relevant.
Oh, triggered.
Facts.
This is at the time when RVD was actually worth something in the WWE.
Rob Van Dam!
Before he started, getting on that pot, getting on the drugs.
Anyway, Willie, your thought of when...
every day.
Willie.
Yeah, what's up?
Willie, okay, Willie, your thought of when RVD won the Money in the Bank ladder match?
It was alright. I mean, you could have chose something a little bit better. I mean, Shelton Benjamin was actually my pick, but, I mean, for the time, I think Rob Van Dam would have, made a great, of course he made a great champion, but, kind of made sense where he cashed in on. But RVD was a pretty good choice, I guess.
All right. And Ryan, what'd you think about that?
I thought it was a very good Money in the Bank ladder match. I definitely enjoyed the spot where Matt Hardy suplexed Ric Flair from the top of the ladder. And that was pretty crazy.
I'm surprised that Rick was able to go through with
really
that.
Crazy. Yeah. But I think RVD was a good pick. And honestly, I would probably my second guess was probably actually my first guess was Bobby Lashley, but my second was actually RVD.
Yeah.
But I was happy RVD won it. So it was pretty cool.
Yep. Unhooked the briefcase and literally fell into the ring.
Yep.
And Gals, did you remember this one?
Yeah, a little. I mean, I think he deserved to win. I mean, he made a great champion. That's all I can really say. Like, 'cause, I mean, I kind of remember, but like, you know.
It's okay. We understand. Hell, even I hardly remember that one.
God, I need to go back and rewatch all these.
And that's why we have the network, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Well, not for me. For my case.
I feel stupid.
Well, for my case, I'm up here in Canada. My WWE network is not like a Netflix streaming service. It's a TV channel.
I shouldn't laugh at that.
Hey, at least mine doesn't require internet.
True.
Oh.
True.
If my Wi-Fi goes out during the WWE pay-per-view, it's still playing.
Switch.
That's a conversation ender right there. As for me, I thought it was really cool when RVD won the second Money in the Bank ladder match. I thought it was funny the way he did it. He got the briefcase and literally just fell into the ring.
Yep.
But let's go to when he did cash it in. Ladies and gentlemen, RVD's the first guy to actually announce when he's cashing in.
That's right.
He told John Cena, I'm cashing in at ECW's One Night Stand in 2006.
In the Hammerstein Ballroom of all places, ladies and gentlemen.
And one of the most
hostile.
Yeah, one of the most hostile crowds ever. Oh my God. It's a little too graphic
A
little too graphic to say on here, otherwise I might get demonetized.
True.
But let's just go to the match itself. Willie, what'd you think about when RVD actually announced when he was cashing in?
It was alright. I mean, I thought to myself, well, why are you doing that? I would do the same thing Edge did last year, but, you know, announcing it ahead in advance, you know, it's probably to get the champion off of their game, but at the time it was pretty cool. And I also liked the place where he cashed it in on.
ECW. Ryan, what did you think about when RVD announced his cash in?
I think it was kind of surprising because, like the way I saw it, you know, why would you tell, you know, whoever it is that you're going to cash in on when you're going to cash it in on? Like, usually you keep it anonymous. So it was like, it was kind of shocking, but I mean, it was all right, I guess. But I thought it was really cool for a change, ECW, and it was a really cool moment for Rob Van Dam. So really awesome.
That's true. And Kelsey, what did you think about when RVD actually announced that he was going to cash in at ECW?
I don't know. I kind of found it weird that like you announce like that he announced it because you know it's like surprise like when they cash in. But I mean it was good for him I guess. But it just was kind of weird. Like why would you announce that you're gonna cash in? Why not just do it? You know.
That's true. Like I mean sure RVD managed to successfully do it in the end, but that was because of Paul Heyman.
And Edge. Edge
and Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Otherwise, I guarantee RVD would have lost.
Yeah.
Here's another funny thing. Like 2006, of course, it was Edge cashing his briefcase on John Cena in 2006. RVD cashing on John Cena in 2006. So 2006 was quite the year for John Cena to get cashed in on twice.
Poor Cena.
Yeah.
And then he won the briefcase, and it all went to hell.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to 2012. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the next one. 2007's Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 23. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, this was actually a really good one. I like this one. Mr. Kennedy was the winner. We'll get to that in a moment.
Mr.
Anderson. You know, that's how I remember.
No.
Mr. Kennedy outlasted Edge, Randy Orton, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Finlay, King Booker and CM Punk.
King Booker. CM Punk. Oh, yeah, shout out to CM Punk. And good luck on Saturday, dude.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk is fighting Michael Jackson. Not the dead singer, the fighter.
Wait, he's actually fighting a dude named Michael Jackson. Are you serious?
Okay, the only Michael Jackson I know.
Well, it's Mike. Well, it's Mike Jackson, but the others call him Michael Jackson.
I did not know that. Well, good luck against Michael Jackson. Oh yeah, and Dominion's on Saturday. So yeah, I'm watching Dominion. New Japan Pro Wrestling, guys. Anyways, moving on.
Let's see. Willie, what was your mindset on the Money in the Bank ladder match in 2007?
All right, this was actually before I started getting into the product, because Edge, when he cashed in on the Undertaker, we'll get to that later. Kennedy. Screw it, I'm gonna call him Anderson. That's how I know him as. Anderson, when he cashed it, well, he didn't cash in. When he won the match, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought he had big things in store for him, and then, it all went to hell. But at the time, it was pretty cool.
At that previous Royal Rumble, he faced Batista for the world title, and even if he failed, at least at WrestleMania, he actually got something.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, you're right. That all went to hell in 36 days.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what was your mindset on when Mr. Kennedy won the Money in the Bank ladder match?
It was a little shocking, but I was happy because I felt like, there was a lot of good things to come for Mr. Kennedy. And, it's really kind of either at that moment, where either it can go one way or another. And once when after, so many days, his money in the briefcase was gone. Everything was kind of gone. But it was a really cool moment for Mr. Kennedy because I'm glad he had a WrestleMania moment, but it just kind of sucked on the outcome. But I was happy for Mr. Kennedy.
It's kind of understandable. And Kels, what did you think about when Kennedy won?
Whatever.
I mean, it was. I'll be honest. I didn't really like Mr. Kennedy.
I'm gonna stop. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He kind of got on my nerves, but I mean, it was cool that he won. I just didn't really care for him. I was just like, oh yeah, I was like, meh, because I didn't really like him.
The one thing I want to mention is,
you
of course,
want to attack Kelsey in the comments.
The one thing I want to mention here is Kennedy actually had some sort of countdown to the next year's WrestleMania because he actually planned to cash in at WrestleMania 24.
Y'all don't want to mess with me.
Oh wow.
He had a countdown going on for weeks, and then he lost his briefcase in a match against Edge.
Because why not?
Well, apparently Kennedy was injured, I think.
Well, then, never mind.
I don't know if he was dealing with an injury or what happened, but...
Why did you give it to him?
Yeah, why did you give it to him in the first place? That's the point.
Yeah.
Well, if it was because Kennedy had an injury, then maybe that would probably be understandable why he lost it then. But still, yeah, it is still infuriating.
You have to have a little bit of unpredictability in WWE, but still, though.
I swear to God.
And so Edge technically became the first ever two-time Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Legend.
Yes. Can you beat that, Carmella? Can you?
Actually, yes, she also is a two-time Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah, technically so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Willie.
But James,
I know.
I mean, James Ellsworth was actually the first.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to 10 years. But
Yeah, James Ellsworth.
I got tons to say on
Money in the
2017.
Bank, but
yeah, let's continue where we are. Edge only held on to that contract for a day because the next day on SmackDown, well, 4 days according to WWE, because tape delay.
It was taped.
Yeah, Edge technically held it for a day. The very next night on SmackDown, he cashed in on The Undertaker.
This was my very first time watching professional wrestling. I just now remember that. Holy crap.
You know what?
Holy crap. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
Oh,
Anyways, moving on.
Then tell us your thought.
Edge?
Tell us your thought about Edge cashing in.
Okay, at first, I didn't know how the Money in the Bank thing worked. At that time, I was like, okay, what's he doing? What's he holding in his hand? And at the time, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. cashed in. I didn't know what a heel or a face was at the time, so I was literally rooting for Edge. So I was like, beat that guy down, because I didn't even know who The Undertaker was back then. This was like 11 years, good lord. But I enjoyed it, and he won my favorite championship of all time, the Big Gold World Heavyweight Championship.
Uh-huh.
Moving on.
That was a really good time. Ryan, what did you think about when Edge cashed in on The Undertaker?
Honestly, I really kind of so this was really kind of confusing. Like when when Mr. Kennedy, I didn't really realize that he had gotten injured. That's why, and I didn't really watch SmackDown a whole lot back during that time. I don't watch parts of it, but I was kind of confused. I was kind of confused why Edge was holding one of the briefcase, because I didn't realize Mr. Kennedy had an injury, and that's why Edge had it. So, but it was cool seeing him catch it on the Undertaker. And then I believe the next year, at WrestleMania 24, they fought for the World Heavyweight title, which was really cool. Right. But it was an awesome moment for Edge. Like I said again, he was the top heel of that company at that time. So it was an awesome moment once again for Edge.
That's true. And Kels, what do you think about Edge cashing in again on The Undertaker first?
Well, like I said earlier, huge Edge fan, so of course I was happy. I was literally jumping around my house. I was like,
she's an Edgeaholic, folks.
Oh, yes. I didn't say that because I was like young and but I was so happy. Like Edge, like y'all don't understand how much I loved Edge back then. Like I was such a diehard Edge fan. I was like,
fucking hate Edge.
I loved him. He was such a oh my god. Oh,
I really did kind of hate Edge. Like when he feuded with the Undertaker. I will admit that. But he was so awesome. He was so awesome as a heel.
I think the fact that they got us to hate him, that's why he was doing a good job.
Yeah, that's why I say that he was the top heel.
That's why I'm saying that Jinder Mahal is the perfect heel, because everybody hates him.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and people are making stupid excuses like, oh, no, it's not because of that. It's because we legit don't want him there. I'm like, that's exactly what you said about Edge, so shut up. So, moving on to what I thought about that when Edge cashed in on The Undertaker. I remember watching it. I was like, The Undertaker Batista just had a draw in the steel cage match, and then Mark Henry assaulted The Undertaker, and I was like, so many things were going on at one time that I didn't know what was going on, but that's what made it so awesome. Taker Batista in a cage, ends in a draw. Mark Henry assaults Taker, followed by Edge cashing in, and I'm like, wow, what a night.
And then Edge went on to feud with Batista, which, man.
Well, I believe, wasn't Taker injured or something for a little bit?
Taker didn't return to, Unforgiven.
Could have been because he was dethroned and was just
getting some good feuds. Edge had some good feuds around that time.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And they were mainly with Batista and The Undertaker. So there you go.
So,
anyways, moving on.
Fast forward, 2008, WrestleMania 24 in Orlando, Florida.
Yep. I actually watched that pay-per-view live at a friend's house.
The winner of this match was CM Punk.
Yeah.
And before we get into this, I believe, I'm not really sure, so I don't know who exactly said this, but someone said that CM Punk was the first ever two-time Money in the Bank winner.
Well,
hello, Edge exists.
No.
Yeah.
Edge.
While Edge, the only thing that's the difference is, while Edge is the first ever two-time Mr. Money in the Bank, the first guy to hold it twice, CM Punk is the first one to win the ladder match twice. So yeah, CM Punk in 2008, Mr. Kennedy was in there again, so both Punk and Kennedy were in there again. Jericho was in it, Shelton Benjamin, who's seemingly appearing in almost every one.
Yeah.
Because that's how great he is.
Carlito, John Morrison, and MVP were the new guys in the match.
John Morrison, I miss John Morrison.
And Christian Jericho.
He's busy in New Japan.
Yeah. As for this Money in the Bank ladder match, I think this time I'll go first, actually. When I first watched this, at the time I didn't know what to think much about CM Punk. Because I just saw him as just this guy from ECW. And that's about it. I mean, I knew he was great and everything, but I did not watch his previous run in Ring of Honor or stuff like that.
How dare you not know what Ring of Honor is? I'm kidding.
I didn't say I didn't know what Ring of Honor was. I just simply said I did not watch it.
Yeah, that's the freaking marks out there.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was really good when CM Punk won. He actually, what was also ironic is at WrestleMania 23 2007, Kennedy last threw CM Punk off the ladder before he got the briefcase. In this case, while Jericho was the last one Punk was with at the ladder, CM Punk also did the same thing to Kennedy by throwing a ladder in his face off the ladder.
Yeah.
So it's like deja vu.
Karma, people.
Karma is a Nikki Bella.
Wow. Yo. Don't you slander Nikki Bella, man. Don't you slander Nikki Bella.
That's sorry. Willie, what'd you think about when CM Punk won his first Money in the Bank contract?
This was actually my very first WrestleMania, I think. And the only thing I remember from this WrestleMania was the stage catching on fire. But anyways, moving on. Punk winning, I was shocked. I thought they were going to give it to somebody like, Kennedy, Shelton, or Carlito, or anybody like that. Punk winning was a shock. And great moment. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Kels, what'd you think?
I was shook. I was like, I love CM Punk, so seeing him win made me really happy. He deserved that win. I don't care what anybody says.
It's all right.
He deserved to win, and that's that. End of story.
Yep. And Ryan, what'd you think about Punk's win?
I thought it was a cool moment. I didn't really know a whole lot about CM Punk at the time because I only watched him in ECW. ECW was honestly the first time I had watched CM Punk, and I thought he was really cool. I mean, I really liked the guy. But I was really, really confident that Chris Jericho was going to win that Money in the Bank ladder match because I thought they were just going to give it to him. I really thought at that moment they were going to give it to Chris Jericho. But he came very close, but CM Punk grabbed his leg, and lo and behold, Chris Jericho gets his leg hooked on the ladder, and CM Punk grabs the briefcase. But it was a cool moment for CM Punk because I started liking him a lot more, and it was an awesome moment for CM Punk.
A very interesting story. A very interesting story about this Money in the Bank ladder match was the one person who was originally supposed to win was Jeff Hardy.
That's right. I was about to get to that, actually.
Jeff Hardy was like everybody was all up for Jeff to be in it. Hell, they even said Jeff was going to be the one who was going to win that match, but unfortunately, he violated the wellness policy for the second time, and thus missed WrestleMania. And sadly, during that, he lost his house.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did not know that.
And this dog.
Yeah, burned in the fire. Yeah, it was still a sad story. Yeah. But. Mm-hmm. It was a good thing that 2008 ended up being Jeff's year anyway at the end of it when at Armageddon.
True.
Armageddon. Bring back that pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was great. That's a great pay-per-view name, especially for December. Let's go to when
December to December for that. Just put it in WWE theme.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on when CM Punk actually cashed in the briefcase against Edge on Monday Night Raw. Willie, what'd you think of that?
Oh, I remember this very well. This is actually the first time I watched Raw, so this is all coming back to me. Holy crap. Punk cashing in. I marked out because I hated Edge. I was literally saying to myself, okay, he's going to win. Thanks to Batista, by the way. The reason Edge got beat down was because of Batista.
Don't remind me.
I love Batista. Punk cashed in. Punk won, and that was it. And all I remember from that show was Jerry Lawler literally screaming, "Punk wins! Punk wins!" I'm like, really?
Oh my God, Jerry Lawler! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Moving on.
We could have said that.
Moving on with that.
Kels, let's actually get you started. What'd you think about when CM Punk cashed in?
Well,
Punk wins!
Okay, listen. I was happy but sad at the same time. Not because he won, but because Edge lost.
Oh! Okay.
No, but CM Punk, I mean, he deserved that. He deserved it, don't get me wrong. Edge.
The sad thing...
I mean, it was a good moment, though.
I don't know what's more sadder. The fact that Edge lost, or the fact that CM Punk was never acknowledged as a true champion.
Also, Punk stuffed as world champion in his first reign.
Hell, he even said he did.
I know.
Because nobody was treating him like a true champion. It was more of a, let's give this to you to hang on for a little bit, and then we're just going to take it away from you without you having to defend it.
Yeah, you got kicked in the skull at Unforgiven, and you were never heard of again.
Yep. Until...
First title reign, folks.
God.
And Ryan, what'd you think about Punk's cash-in?
It was once again another awesome moment for Punk. It was honestly I really hated Edge at the time, but I mean he was awesome. But it was cool to see CM Punk because basically a star was born at that time.
So yeah, like Willie had said, that CM Punk, of course, was never acknowledged as a true champion, lost his title by getting kicked in the head, never got to defend it. But thankfully, of course, he bounced back at WrestleMania 25 the following year. So,
yep.
When CM Punk won the Money in the Bank ladder match, and here's the difference. Like people say, that CM Punk's the first ever two-time Mr. Money in the Bank. The truth is, while Edge is the first guy to hold the briefcase twice, CM Punk's the first guy to win the ladder match twice.
True.
In a row. So it was really good. Actually, now I think about it, Carmella is the second person.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Carmella's name is coming up a lot. Ladies and gentlemen,
screaming werewolf.
At WrestleMania 25, CM Punk outlasted Christian, Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Finlay, MVP, Kofi Kingston, and Mark Henry to win his second Money in the Bank contract.
In this match.
And Kelsey, what'd you think about WrestleMania 25's ladder match?
I thought it was a pretty good match. Pretty good spots, you know.
Kofi Kingston sure as hell sold it really well as well.
Kofi Kingston was the highlight of that entire match. He was like, dude, I was shook. Like
Kofi Kingston, or you talking about Shelton Benjamin?
Well, Kofi Kingston did some really cool stuff in that match.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, they both did, but you know.
Shelton doing that huge dive from the ladder. Good lord.
Okay, that was crazy.
That was sick.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's what I remember from that match.
And Kels, what'd you think about when Punk won the second time?
I thought it was cool. You know, he deserves. I just don't understand why people think he was the first ever two-time Money in the Bank winner, but
nope.
They obviously didn't watch wrestling before that.
Yeah.
But, you know. But it was cool. I mean, CM Punk is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, so, I mean, you know, he deserved to win that.
We're giving CM Punk a lot of praise here, folks.
Yep. When it comes to Money in the Bank, we definitely got to do that.
That's right.
And, Ryan, what'd you think about, that ladder match and CM Punk's win?
I thought it was pretty cool. Once again, another cool moment for CM Punk. I didn't really expect him to be a back-to-back winner, but I thought it was a cool moment because I really, at that time, I felt like, you know, WWE is really making this guy a huge star, and indeed, he definitely did become one because, I mean, he was 3 years later, you know, he was, you know, the top man of the company, pretty much the top guy, so it was a really awesome moment. Like I said, you know, the star was created in CM Punk, so awesome moment for CM Punk.
And what about you, Willie? What'd you think about that ladder match and Punk's win?
I have to agree with these guys. It was a great moment. He deserved it, and that's all I gotta say.
Understandable. Let's go to the cash, and he cashed in on Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules. Actually, before we get to that, he's done he tried so many attempts to replicate cashing in on Edge so many times.
He did.
And they all failed because of Umaga.
Sad.
Rest in peace.
That man deserves so much
Rest in peace, Umaga.
Rest in peace, legit.
And, but at Extreme Rules, Jeff Hardy won a ladder match against Edge to win the World Heavyweight title, and then immediately the kill switch engaged me as like, it's my kill switch.
And a moment was ruined in my anger Rose.
Well, think about it. Like, it wasn't Jeff Hardy's first time ever being world champ.
Ever been world heavyweight champion, though.
Well, he's been WWE champ, so he had a higher title anyway.
Wow, that's an insult. I'm kidding, yeah. But, you're all right.
But yeah, like, despite the fact that Jeff Hardy has been like my childhood hero since I was 3, I absolutely loved it when CM Punk actually cashed in on Jeff. It was great. And it was the perfect opportunity to have CM Punk turn heel.
He technically didn't turn heel there. He was more face. But as times went on, then he turned heel.
Yep. Kels, what do you think about when Punk cashed in on Jeff?
I thought that was one of the best moments, to be honest. Actually, I was like, at first I was like shocked. I was like, oh my God. But other than that, I thought it was a great moment. I wasn't expecting it, like, to happen that quick, but, you know, it was still a good moment.
And, Ryan, what'd you think about when he cashed in on Jeff?
I was I'll be honest, I was a little upset because it was Jeff Hardy, and I loved Jeff Hardy.
I'm in the same boat, Ryan.
But at the same time, it was cool for CM Punk, because I think, honestly, CM Punk and Jeff Hardy had one of the most fantastic rivalries of 2009.
2009.
It was
legit.
fantastic. I mean, like, it was just absolutely incredible. And I was on the side of Jeff Hardy, but at the same time, though, CM Punk, he definitely deserved. He definitely earned it. He definitely earned it. So definitely, I give a lot of praise to CM Punk.
Yep. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're finally in the 2010 era. 2010, ladies and gentlemen, was not just the last Money in the Bank ladder match of WrestleMania, but it was also the debut year of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So for the first time ever, in 1 year, there were 3 Money in the Bank ladder matches. So that's what you call historic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even if not a lot of it was cool, at the same time, it's still historic. But let's go first here. Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 26. The winner was Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger.
As he outlasted, and he was actually the first, and so far as we know, the only 10-man Money in the Bank ladder match.
True.
Jack Swagger outlasted Shelton Benjamin, Christian, Kane, Matt Hardy, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne. Does anybody remember Evan Bourne?
Yeah, Evan Bourne, yeah.
That's Side Out.
That was an incredible spot that he did off the ladder.
MVP and Dolph Ziggler. Oh my God, that's a lot of names.
Yep.
Lots of star power in that match.
And Swagger was the type of name that nobody would think would win the match, and that was what made it cool.
Yeah.
And boring.
Well, the only boring part was he took like 45 seconds to unhook the briefcase.
Yep.
It took so long to hook that thing off.
Because of how long it was taking, I was thinking, oh, somebody's going to interfere. But no, he unhooked it finally. I was like, oh, it's because he was having trouble. I bet everybody. This is something even my mom keeps telling me. Everybody was probably lying on the ground outside, saying, "Come on, hurry up!" And
that
was ridiculous.
And he went on to ruin the World Heavyweight Championship. Anyways, we'll get to that.
Shut up.
But, Kels, what'd you think about Swagger's win?
I was annoyed. I didn't really like Jack Swagger back then. I thought he was an asshole, but I know he was a heel. But listen, I just did not. Back then I didn't really know what heels and faces were, so I was still
in 2010. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I did. I just thought that he was not. He was like an actual asshole. So I was like, okay, I don't like you, but I mean, that's all I can really say. Like, it was ridiculous. I mean, I was kind of like meh about it when he won.
Yeah.
I didn't really like him back then.
Understandable. And Willie, what'd you think about Swagger's win?
I hated it. Swagger sucked. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. And Ryan, I'm guessing you actually praised it?
Yeah. I was actually pretty freaking happy for Jack Swagger. And here's the reason why. I know he wasn't going to be like no Kurt Angle or anything, but I think this guy I think he was a really good wrestler at the time. I think he really was. And I don't really necessarily, some would disagree with this, but I think he definitely deserved it. I mean, even though he wasn't the greatest, but I think it was a very cool moment for Jack Swagger. The only bad thing is, though, he took a very long time to unhook that briefcase. But still, though, I was happy for Jack Swagger. And the funny thing is, though, which we'll get to that in a second, but, he was really happy that, he won the Money in the Bank briefcase. You could see it, like, his emotions, like, he was holding the briefcase up high in the air. And then whenever he won the world title, he had, like, no reaction. Like, he was straight face.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really found interesting. Like, Jack Swagger cashed in the briefcase that following edition on SmackDown, the SmackDown after Mania, against Jericho, after Jericho got assaulted by Edge. And when that went down, like, at first, Swagger was all up and fired up, ready to go. But the moment he won the title, his expressions and his attitude just changed immediately once he got the 3 count. He was all serious then. That's why it was a little different. I was like, oh, this is a little different. And it could have gone good too. I mean, think about this. Like Swagger, when he won the World Heavyweight Championship, it looked promising at first because of his change of behavior.
Yeah.
But of course, as we all know, it ended up not being well.
Sure.
Yeah. Of course, like Kels, what did you think about Swagger's cash in on SmackDown? I assume that's the best reaction.
It was cool for him, but like I said, I didn't really like him, so I was like not happy about it.
So I'm guessing
I was
Willie.
Just like, oh yeah, that's cool.
I'm guessing Willie's reaction's the same.
Yes.
You hated it. You didn't want any part of it, huh?
Pretty much.
Yep.
And Ryan also had said that he also somewhat praised the cash in, but at the same time, it was just the interesting change of his behavior that was interesting.
Yeah, and here's the thing, when he started to develop more serious personality, I believe he had been really known for doing push-ups and beating his chest during his ring entrance, of course, when he had his own theme song. And I really thought this was going to actually kind of, go somewhere, take him very far. But, it only lasted for a few months. And they lost it at Fatal 4-Way to, I think it was Rey Mysterio. But, it was a pretty good, short reign. But I was happy that Swagger was able to hold the title. But after that, it was just basically mid-card after that, but it was a cool moment for Swagger.
Michael Cole's words in 2011 when he was in his feud with Jerry Lawler kind of makes sense.
Oh, that was terrible.
Kind of makes sense when he's
about that rivalry.
Yeah,
I know, but here's the thing.
Talk about that.
I know, but here's the thing. Like Michael Cole's words to Jerry about Swagger was kind of true. Nobody even remembers him being a world champion.
Very true.
Even if that hurt Jack, at the same time, that's kind of true.
Yeah, it is.
Fast forward to not next year, but later that same year, in the first ever Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we had 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, one for SmackDown, one for Raw. It was the debut of the new-looking briefcases, which I thought were okay. They're okay. Compared to this year's, looking weird.
The women's is the same from last year. The men's is the only one that's changed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah, it could have just gone back to the gold or something. But, this Money in the Bank ladder match in 2010, let's start off with the SmackDown one, because that was the one that kicked off the show. The winner was, shockingly, Kane. I was surprised. That shocked the hell out of me. I was like, what? What? Kane? Wow. Kane outlasted Christian, Matt Hardy, Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. Holy shit, I'm a nerd.
Drew McIntyre.
I think Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes were a team at that time.
Yeah, they were tag team champions at one point.
Oh my god, I just now remember something. There's something that happened, like at one point in that Money in the Bank ladder match that Jerry Lawler said about Drew that made me laugh. You know what that was?
What?
This was about Drew, not Big Show, when he said, "Look at the size of this guy, he may not need a ladder." And I'm like, Drew's not that big.
God, have you seen Drew now? Oh, holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Well,
almost
Drew is
7
a
foot.
beast.
Yeah, Drew, like his music honestly makes me call him Scottish Terminator.
Yeah. Oh, I love him. Oh, my God.
Anyway, let's go back here.
Anyway, we're not getting into that right now.
Yeah.
No.
How about this?
We'll be hard there with that.
Willie, what's your thought about not just Kane winning the match, but cashing in literally 50 minutes later?
Okay, Kane winning. I actually like this one. I think he deserved it, and he deserved the long title reign, which he got. I liked it.
But what'd you think about when he cashed in literally less than an hour later?
Shocked. I was really shocked at that point. I'm like, why are you taking the title away from Rey Mysterio, man? That was a huge Mysterio mark. I was like, why are you doing this? And, one choke slam later and the tombstone, and that was it. And then I started crying in my bed because I was so upset.
Understandable. Kels, what'd you think about Kane cashing in literally 1 hour later?
I was shocked, but it was also really cool to see that. Like, nobody's ever done that. Wasn't he the first one to, like... Was he the first? I can't remember.
First to cash in on the same night.
That was really cool. He deserved that.
And it was
I was shocked at first, but then I was like, oh yeah, he deserved that.
Yeah, this was also before the following Money in the Bank ladder match too.
Exactly.
So that was also interesting to think about. Ryan, what'd you think about Kane cashing in literally 50 minutes later?
It was a little shocking, but at the same time it was cool. I thought that was a very perfect timing for Kane because Rey Mysterio, I think he faced Jack Swagger again.
And he faced Swagger.
Yeah, and of course Rey Mysterio, like when he was getting back up, and then boom, you hear the pyro, and here comes Kane, and it was awesome.
His only first, I think it was Rey's only first reign or only title defense with that title in the second reign. So which is sad.
Think about this actually.
Poor Rey.
Kane was already out there earlier because Swagger had assaulted Rey post the match, and Kane came out, assaulted Jack, chased him all the back, but then all of a sudden just came right back out with his briefcase.
Yep.
So that was funny. So ladies and gentlemen, let's fast forward to later on that night, the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match. The winner was The Miz.
Who we think will win this year's Money in the Bank. Let's go, Miz. Let's go, Miz.
I thought you were going for Finn Balor.
Wait, who?
I thought you were going for Finn Balor, man. Oh, heel Balor's been exposed.
Exposed.
He's a Miz fan.
Exposed.
Okay, let's go back to this. The Miz won the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match, outlasting Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Edge. Nice. And Edge in his final Money in the Bank ladder match. John Morrison, Evan Bourne, Mark Henry, and Ted DiBiase Jr.
I come from money.
I miss that guy.
Willie knew I was going to sing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a cool theme. It was a cool theme.
Ryan, what'd you think about when The Miz won and when he cashed in on Randy Orton?
I remember watching that moment.
Same.
When he cashed in on Randy Orton on Raw. That was an awesome moment for Miz.
No pun intended.
I wasn't really too high on Miz at the time. I wasn't a really big fan of him, but he really started to grow on me after he won the title, and he became a really good heel. He really was a good heel, so very awesome.
Not like he is now.
Yeah.
Hey, Kels, what did you think about when The Miz won and then when he cashed in on Randy?
I thought it was a good moment because, Miz was a rising star and he deserved that win more than anything. And I was like Ryan said, I wasn't too big on The Miz at first, but then I really opened my eyes and saw that he's really talented and he deserved to win.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
And of course, Willie, what'd you think of that?
I remember watching this moment in the living room in there, and my reaction, I was literally so happy. I was sick as Randy Orton as champion. Miz cashing in. And the other thing I do remember, nobody talks about this with this Money in the Bank cash in. Oh, and his win was cool too. But nobody talks about this when he cashed in. Y'all remember that? People call her the Miz girl.
Oh my God, Angry Miz girl.
Oh yeah,
remember her?
that girl that
That's
was
what
that
I
made
remember from that cash in.
that face expression.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
That was hilarious. And then Miz won. I was jumping for joy, so I was so happy.
She became legendary.
She did, and I think she won a Slammy because of that. Anyways, moving on.
Let's fast forward, ladies and gentlemen, 2011. We're getting closer to the end, thank God. We are 50 minutes into the podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
50 minutes into the podcast. We still have a few more ladder matches to discuss, so hang on tightly, guys, and make some more popcorn if you want to.
And grab a soda, too. You might be thirsty.
Yeah, I'm drinking coffee.
Drink water.
Iced coffee. Don't worry, iced coffee.
Okay.
Drink apple juice. Drink apple juice.
Not too much, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following in 2011, first of all, Money in the Bank, everybody remembers that as the night CM Punk walked out with the title.
Yep.
But we're here to talk about the ladder matches and not that moment, sadly. But, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say, that moment when CM Punk won the title was awesome!
Yeah.
Historic moment.
Yes.
Anyway, as for the ladder matches, the first one in the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match was won by Daniel Bryan.
My boy D-Bryan.
Yep.
Daniel Bryan outlasted Wade Barrett, Kane, Cody Rhodes, Sheamus, Sin Cara, Justin Gabriel, and Heath Slater. So,
yay.
Let's see what we got here. Daniel Bryan, at one point, actually cashed in on Mark Henry and won, but it was nullified.
Yes. And they fooled me, and they got me very angry on that night. But he got his moment later in the year.
Yeah, at least they allowed him to have the briefcase back.
Yeah.
So
take it away from him, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You D, bro.
He eventually cashed in on Big Show at TLC after taking forever just to push him over, because that was funny to look at. Can't push him over. Trying to push him over. That was funny as hell.
That was hilarious.
Let's fast forward. Willie, what do you think about Daniel Bryan's Money in the Bank victory?
You're talking to the biggest D-Bryan mark in this freaking podcast right now, so.
Probably,
Oh,
yep.
man, I was so happy. Great moment. My boy deserved it. Had a good run with the briefcase, actually. So they cashed it in on Mark Henry, though, on that SmackDown that I want to forget about. Got the briefcase back, cashed in at TLC, won the world title, and the rest is history.
Ow, fucker. Sorry.
What a perfect timing. Ryan, what did you think about when Daniel Bryan won the Money in the Bank and when he cashed in?
It was awesome. Awesome moment for Daniel Bryan. I honestly, when he cashed in on the Big Show, I'm gonna forget about Mark Henry. We'll pretend like it never happened. But
yes, we will.
When he cashed in on the Big Show, I thought, okay, there's no way he's gonna beat the Big Show. No way. And I was for sure Big Show was gonna kick out, but it didn't. And Daniel Bryan won the World Heavyweight title. So it was a good moment for Daniel Bryan. I was very happy, and from there he kind of went on the rising star.
And then he got beaten in 18 seconds.
Yeah, by Sheamus.
We will not talk about that.
Yeah.
We will not talk about that moment.
Kels, what'd you think about when Daniel Bryan won?
I was so happy. Like, I was rooting for Daniel Bryan that entire match. I was like, if Daniel Bryan doesn't win this, it's canceled. And then when he won, I was so happy. Like, honestly, he deserved that more than anybody else in that match. That's just my opinion, though. Like,
because Daniel was showing how much he was good. Because you all know, like, in the times when he was in that original and horrible NXT, he was meant to look like a failure. And now, look what he's doing now.
Yes,
exactly.
Back on top and feuding with Big Cass of all people.
Well,
get out of here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Because it sucks. Anyways, moving on.
Here's the one thing I will mention here. The one person who did not like Daniel Bryan's victory or the cash-in was Michael Cole.
Of course, because...
Although I loved it when Daniel won the title and got into Michael Cole's face, so they shoved it in his face. That was awesome.
God, I remember when Michael Cole was literally a obsessed with The Miz. That was so...
Right to the point of creepiness.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
How do I usually say it in my Sin videos? Michael Cole has got a creepy erection for The Miz.
And now, Michael Cole is going to be a big fan of Adam Cole, baby.
Well, actually, he's got a creepy erection for Elias now.
He wants to
God.
strum his
True.
guitar strings, you know? He wants to...
Whoa.
Let's continue on here. The Raw Money in the Bank ladder match in 2011 was won by Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, God.
No.
So basically, in 2011, there was a Money in the Bank ladder match who the winner everybody loved, and the other one nobody wanted to see.
Trash.
Yeah.
So at least it's a tie.
Trash.
Alberto Del Weirdo.
Trash.
Okay, are we just gonna start making fun of his name? I'm just kidding. Alberto Del Rio.
It's not going to be said on
Yeah,
there.
Del Rio outlasted Alex Riley, Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston,
I'm kidding.
R-Truth, Jack Swagger, The Miz, and Unmasked Rey Mysterio.
I haven't none of that. I'm like, Ray, dude, you could have just grabbed the briefcase. And the funny thing is how that happened. Like, Del Rio was actually trying to grab the briefcase after you unmasked Ray, and literally the whole ladder started tumbling down. I thought everyone was going to die.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I think you killed Mysterio and also yourself, man.
That is true. Yeah, somebody who I think should have won that match was Alex Riley.
Yes, because
Honestly, Alex Riley was so underrated. He should have won.
He
Right.
should still be here, but you know, I don't know what he's up to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I
Does he-
remember him was in NXT.
Does he still wrestle?
I don't know.
He's
I
probably
think-
working in some donut factory.
Well, I follow him on Instagram. He goes by Kylie Jr. or something like that.
That was a little weird.
I thought you were gonna say Kylie Jenner.
Okay, let's not go too far off topic here. But let's fast forward. Alberto Del Rio cashed in his briefcase on CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Oh, I remember that.
That was some bullshit.
Right after Kevin Nash assaulted Punk.
You can't be Dash. Ooh, I broke my quad. You know, I gotta
Who?
You can't break quads. They're muscles. They can't be broken. They can be
tear your
torn.
quad. Whatever.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Who?
Kevin-
I didn't hear you.
Kevin Nash and Punk.
Oh, ew.
That was an awkward thing going on when Kevin Nash was around for the half of 2011. That was a little weird.
And then I don't want to talk about Alberto's title reign. It was so bad.
It literally ended at the next pay-per-view against John
I
Cena.
know. John Cena.
So I'm guessing all of our reactions to Del Rio is pretty much the same.
Go
Yeah.
back to Mexico.
Ryan,
We got
same
our
for you?
man in Andrade Cien Almas.
Yeah.
Yes.
El Idolo.
All right,
Yeah,
2012.
He goes by Kevin Kylie. Kevin.
Oh, that's
Kylie.
what it was.
Yeah.
Still referring to Alex Riley's Instagram.
But his Instagram handles like Kylie Jr. or something like that.
All right,
Something like that.
2012's, let's go to that. 2012's Money in the Bank ladder match. The first one, the SmackDown's winner was Dolph Ziggler.
Woo! And that was a fantastic moment for Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler outlasted Cody Rhodes, Christian, Sin Cara, Damian Sandow. Oh yeah. Tyson Kidd, Tensai, and Santino Marella.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Brodus Clay. Just kidding.
The fuck is so...
Well, was Brodus Clay ever in a ladder match? I don't think it was.
He probably danced up the ladder, but you know.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler is the guy who not only won the Money in the Bank contract, but at the same time, he defended it a number of times. He defended it first against Jericho in a career versus contract match.
At SummerSlam.
Actually, it was the day after SummerSlam.
Okay, well, I was
And
close.
then at TLC, he was in a Money in the Bank ladder match against John Cena.
Thanks to AJ Lee, he won the match. So, there you go.
And then he ends up cashing in again on my birthday, the day after WrestleMania. Against
And
Alberto
then
Del Rio.
WrestleMania was actually my birthday on that year, but you know, we're
Yeah,
not gonna
that's
get into
true.
that.
So Let's see, Ryan, what was your thought about Ziggler's win and subsequent cash-in?
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, what was your mindset on Dolph Ziggler's win and subsequent cash-in?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was good. I was happy Dolph Ziggler won. When Dolph Ziggler was first in WWE, I didn't really like him. I don't really know why. Like, I just kind of hated him. But once when he cashed in that World Heavyweight title on Del Rio, like, I started becoming a big fan of him.
You mean cashed in the briefcase and then won the world title?
Yeah.
He just said cash in the title. Wow.
Yep.
Oh, so you can cash in titles now? Okay.
Yeah, cash in the briefcase is what I meant. Anyway, it was an awesome moment for Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was, this was basically a build-up to, I don't know. I fucked up. Hang on. Can we restart that? God damn it. Restart the whole fucking question.
Basically, what was your mindset on Dolph's victory?
Stop. Edit that out. Edit that out. 'Cause I fucked up.
Restart the whole effing boost. Damn. I pulled a Sid.
It's okay. It's okay, man. Don't worry. Everybody deserves a laugh every now and then.
I've done that before too. It's okay, Ryan.
Restart the fucking question.
It's okay. Like
Sorry, guys. Sorry. That was my fault.
It's alright. We understand. We'll actually just continue on. Is that okay?
Anyways, continue.
Should I just go ahead and ask one of the other two?
Yeah, ask me.
Okay.
I don't even know what we're talking
Okay.
about.
Willie, what was your reaction on Dolph's victory and cash-in?
Victory was great. His cash-in was a lot better.
Was that when he cashed in on
That was
Del
after
Rio?
WrestleMania 29 on Del Rio. The loudest crowd reaction I have ever heard from.
Was that when he cashed in on Del Rio?
Yep.
Yep. And that's right there. That moment. That's when I began to like Ziggler. Right there. So I was a big fan of him when he feuded with John Cena, when he feuded with other people like that. But when he cashed in on that night, I was hooked instantly.
I mean, Ziggler, leading up to that cash-in was doing great. I mean, his rivalries with Jericho and then with John Cena, and then last thing up to the Final Four in the Royal Rumble match, after entering at number 1, was great.
And this year is number 30, because why not? What a coincidence.
And Kels, what did you think about Dolph's victory and cash-in?
I thought it was great, you know? His cash-in had me shook. I was like, yes, Dolph, take that title off of him. I was so happy for him. Like, seeing his reaction when he won, that was so amazing. Like, he was so happy. And he had a good reign with the title, I think.
Yep.
It was
decent.
Yeah.
It was decent, but unfortunately,
it wasn't the best, but it was.
Unfortunately, a majority of his reign was shadowed by those concussions.
Yep.
Yeah.
He should have held it a lot longer.
Yeah. Let's see what else is going on. The Raw Money in the Bank ladder match was the first time ever that, for one thing, there was only 5 participants in the ladder match, and for the other, it's the first time ever that somebody won by accident.
Yes, I remember this.
John Cena outlasted Jericho, Miz, Kane, and Big Show. Well, The Miz put himself in literally on the pay-per-views after returning.
Yeah,
but
after filming something.
The problem is, John Cena accidentally won the Money in the Bank ladder match. As a matter of fact,
you could tell.
Because, the handle just breaks off as he tries to hit Big Show, and so he won by accident. Even he saw that happen, and he's like, oh, no, what do I do?
He stares down at
They just had to go with it.
That was so funny. I laughed.
Thank God Michael Cole realized that mistake and improvised. John Cena won it! John Cena won it! And, that's the thing. The way I see it, I think it was Big Show who was supposed to win. I think Cena was supposed to miss, and then Show would knock out.
I'm so glad Big Show did not win.
Well, let me finish there for a second.
I kind of feel like Big Show still has to, KO John Cena or something off the ladder, or he's supposed to, knock the briefcase into him.
I think here's the way it was supposed to happen right here. Show was supposed to duck that last one, and then knock out Cena, and when he does that, Cena goes out the ladder, and Show then literally yanks the briefcase off. Maybe that's why it was loosened. But here's the thing: if it was loosened, then Jericho was actually hanging onto the briefcase at one point when he had no ladder below him.
Yeah.
That's how strong Cena is. Like, good lord. Like,
he probably loosened it himself. Just kidding.
yeah, he's trying to, let's take a little screws out. They won't notice. Oops.
But because John Cena won by accident, and I don't think he was supposed to win at all, they had to change plans. And that's why they had him announce that he was going to cash in against CM Punk at Raw 1000.
Oh, I remember Raw 1000. My lord. That was awesome.
It was a good show.
Awesome show.
A really good show,
Better
yeah.
than Raw 25 this year.
Let's see, Ryan, what'd you think about when John Cena announced his cash into CM Punk?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't kind of surprised because that is John Cena for you. He's the guy that does the right thing, and obviously he's gonna tell someone what he's gonna do. But honestly, I think CM Punk winning was kind of predictable because if John Cena wasn't even supposed to win the thing, why?
Actually,
what was the point of him even taking the belt?
Well, actually, Cena won by disqualification because of Big Show. So he still won the match. He just didn't win the title.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, even then though, it was kind of predictable that he wasn't going to win the title. But then behold, CM Punk's epic heel turn.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say about this one.
That cash-in, he's also the first man to fail, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was just a mess, honestly. That
Yeah,
whole
like-
thing was just...
Because
A
John
mess.
Cena wasn't supposed to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, that's why they had him lose it.
Yeah.
Cash in and
So
lose.
basically, they just kind of had to go with it.
Yeah, at that point it was too late. Sometimes things don't go the way you plan, huh?
Yep.
Very true.
Let's see. Willie, you said you didn't have much to say about that?
Not really. I mean, I wasn't really shocked at it. I mean, his cash-in, I was actually like, okay, why are you having him lose? And but his win was also shocking. Either way, this was just an underwhelming cash-in and win. Moving on.
Yep. In 2013, this is actually the
This is where it
interesting
gets
thing
bad.
here. This is where it gets bad. The SmackDown winner was Damian Sandow. We'll get to his cash in a little. We'll get to his cash in a little later. But
Cody should have won. Cody
Yes.
should have won that.
Cody should freaking won this match.
I was pissed.
Yeah, I give it to Sandow,
Mizdow. I remember that.
Oh, what a great character that was.
Damian Sandow outlasted Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro. Yeah, he was Antonio Cesaro at the time.
Antonio Cesaro.
Fandango and Dean Ambrose.
Fandango.
I miss Dean. Okay, moving on.
So yeah, Damian Sandow won the match, and throughout his run as Mr. Money in the Bank, he was made to look like a joke because Cody Rhodes threw his briefcase into the water,
Yeah.
and he got he got Willy Wonka in the chocolate briefcase.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I remember that. I thought it was like actual chocolate.
It kind of made sense for him though. Like it kind of did make sense.
I was just waiting for him to be confronted by Ryback. Ryback would steal the briefcase, start biting on it, and then he'd be like, "This ain't chocolate." Chocolate.
They made Hershey's. Hey.
But here's the part that sucks. Damian Sandow was the first guy to actually cleanly lose his cash-in match.
That's right.
So,
Why did he even fucking win it then?
Yes. Cashed in on John Cena, I think, after Hell in a Cell. I think.
for one thing, John Cena should not have been given that title match on his return day.
Thank you.
And for the other, that's why I'm saying he should have lost it to Damian the next night.
Then you went on to unify the belts.
Well, technically Randy Orton did, but yeah.
Just kidding.
Cody should have won that freaking match. I was confident Cody was going to get that briefcase. Lo and behold, Sandow kind of comes out of nowhere, but it was kind of...
Sandow, really?
I don't know. I mean, of course, Cody and Damian Sandow were a team at the time, but
here's the
man,
kicker.
Cody was so freaking good in that match. I mean, some of the moves and spots that he did was fantastic, and everybody was going for him. Everybody was going for him to win the briefcase, but didn't happen. I was kind of a little disappointed.
And guess who Sandow lost to? John Cena.
The same guy who the first guy to cash in and lose.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that in a little while. But Kels, what was your mindset on Damian winning and then losing his cash in?
That fucking sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And I burped. Oops.
It's all right.
That was the worst.
Perfect reaction, anyway.
He should not have won. Like Ryan said, Cody should have won.
I think, yeah, Cody definitely was doing great. And
Cody was the star of that match. He should have won.
He was the star of the match, and then he turned into the Stardust of the WWE.
Oh,
yeah, we do not speak on that gimmick. We do not talk about that gimmick.
That gimmick
is dead.
That gimmick is dead. And
it was
bad.
fine.
Good point. Let's move it on to the other one in 2013. This was the All-Star match, which featured the return of Rob Van Dam.
I remember this one very well.
That was pretty cool.
The wrong man won, though.
Rob Van Dam and Sheamus, Christian, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and the winner, Randy Orton.
I freaking hated the winner of this match. But, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Let's see, think about it, though, like, I was actually pulling maybe for Christian to win it. Because he had not gotten success that much at all.
No, and Christian deserved better in his career WWE.
Yeah. Think about this.
They kind of gave him the World Heavyweight title, but still, though, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The reign sucked.
Yeah.
As for Randy Orton here, let's just go right to it. Randy Orton cashed in on Daniel Bryan when he won his first WWE title.
We all remember that.
It was the debut of the Authority.
I don't like talking about that. That moment, I don't like talking about that.
The debut of the Authority, huh?
We do not talk about the Authority. We do not talk about this main event of SummerSlam in 2013.
You mean the one where Daniel Bryan?
Triggered.
You mean the one where Daniel Bryan defeated John Cena, had a big pyro and confetti celebration, then ultimately lost his title?
Yes, that one.
Good point.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That cash-in was cool, especially the Triple H heel turn. I did not see that coming.
I did.
I was like, "What? Randy Orton's coming out? Okay, he's gonna fail at cashing in, or he's just gonna walk away." You see Triple H freaking turn around, pedigree Daniel Bryan. I would start screaming at my TV and start saying un-PG words because I was I'm a huge Bryan mark, so I was not happy. And I thought, okay, they're gonna reunite Evolution. I'm like, no, the Shield's coming back, and then you have the Authority. I'm like, oh, okay, moving on.
Ryan, what was your mindset on Randy Orton's victory and cash-in?
I think it was a cool moment for Randy Orton. And then this kind of led up to, his heel turn when he cashed in. It was a shocking moment. I was happy Daniel Bryan won the title against John Cena in what was probably one of the greatest SummerSlam matches in history.
I think Brock Lesnar and Punk kind of topped that match.
That's true. Just kind of, I definitely think it was good. Cena and Braun put on a very good match, but shockingly, Triple H turns heel, and then Randy Orton catches in, turns heel, ruins Daniel Bryan's moment. But it was this is really honestly the Randy Orton I like. I like heel Orton. He's just better as a heel, and it was a very good cash-in moment.
That one moment, that one moment when you realize Daniel Bryan's been world champ 3 times, and in his combined reigns, he has not held the title for over 50 days.
That's gonna change one day.
Hopefully, but thank God we have another shot at that. But let's continue on. Kels, what did you think about when Randy Orton won?
I was kind of like, yeah, I guess that was cool. I mean, I don't really know what to say because, like, I wasn't like I don't know. I just didn't really like.
What she's trying to say here, folks, is that she's got the biggest Randy Orton mark in the room, and she says the cash-in pretty much sucked. I'm guessing.
Pretty much. But I mean, him turning heel was cool, but I just didn't like the cash-in.
Also, Triple H has not turned face since 2013.
That's okay.
Cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy Triple H.
Let's move on here. What we got?
He needs to grow his hair back. Good lord.
Yes, for sure.
Like a ball potato. Jeez.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about one of the most historic ones. In 2014, the winner was Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. Here we go. Here's where we get good.
Seth Rollins outlasted Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Rob Van Dam, and Dean Ambrose, of course with the help of Kane.
Why does it seem like the same guys are always in?
Yeah, that's
that.
almost the same guys.
You said Jack Swagger like 10 times.
And Christian, you said Christian for I don't know how many times. So
I think all these participants had previously been in the Money in the Bank ladder match with the exception of Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth won the match thanks, of course, to Kane, but that's beside the point. Beside the point,
the match was awesome.
The match was really good. I think, the fact that Seth was, the high heel at the time. High heel, that's funny.
High heel.
He was becoming the high heel.
He was becoming the hottest heel.
Yeah, so I think in some ways it was quite appropriate the way he won it, just to piss everybody off. And, he attempted so many times to cash in on Brock Lesnar. And then, of course, it never went down.
Afraid of Brock Lesnar, then he runs away. Yeah.
And
he was supposed to do, but still.
Yeah, but then again, let's talk first about the ladder match on that first. Willie, what'd you think about when Seth won the briefcase, at least?
Okay, I was excited. I was more rooting for Dean Ambrose, but when he freaking won, there was one spot in the match which I actually do remember. They brought this huge, those big ladders they bring out, right?
Yeah, the huge ones,
almost the freaking briefcase. Yeah, Rollins and Ambrose freaking climbing the ladder, trying to knock each other off, and then one of them, I think, superplexes them off the ladder. I thought they were gonna die. That was a dangerous spot.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, Seth winning was awesome.
And Ryan, what did you think about that ladder match?
It was a cool ladder match. Probably, definitely, in my opinion, one of my favorites. But Seth Rollins, I think, was the absolute perfect choice because, he just turned on the Shield and, now he's competing for his spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he wins the thing. And it's a great moment because, we all know WrestleMania 31, one of my favorite, the best cash-in of all time.
We'll definitely get to that we'll get to that in a moment. I think I'm actually saving that up for the big one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Kels, what did you think about Seth's victory in the ladder match?
I was so happy. I was crying. I was like, yes! Seth did that! Seth is the freaking Mr. Money in the Bank! And he held that thing for a while.
Yeah,
he did.
Oh my God. I was so happy. I was like, yes, he deserved it. He deserved that win. Don't at me. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care.
Understandable.
He deserved it.
And,
that's that.
Rollins is the man.
Rollins number one.
Anyways, let's get into the big part.
Rollins is the best. Rollins number
okay.
one.
Okay, here's the question I got for you. Willie?
Delete my account. Anyways.
No,
actually, I'll start with you, Kels. You ready for this? Here's the question I got for you. Who wants to walk with Elias?
Oh, hell to the no.
I'm sorry I had to do that, folks. Here's the real question. What'd you think about when Seth Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania?
Wait, are you asking me first?
Yep.
Bruh, this is my favorite cash-in of all time. Seth was the first motherfucking person to cash in at the main event of WrestleMania. That right there, was everything. I was so happy. I was like, oh yeah, Roman's gonna win, and then all of a sudden I heard Seth's music. I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, holy shit! And then he fucking won, and I was so happy. Oh my God.
Roman, of course, I believe Roman had Brock Lesnar beat, and even though it was cool,
pretty much.
Yeah, he had Lesnar beat, but it's still cool that Seth took advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, that was awesome. And he didn't even pin the champ.
And
he
Willie,
didn't pin the champ.
Willie, what did you think about when Seth cashed in at Mania?
Oh man, I remember tweeting about this WrestleMania. I remember tweeting out, I hope Seth cashes in, and people were like, nah, it's not gonna happen. But it happened, and I was marking out like a freaking idiot. I was so excited, so happy. Great moment. great way to end WrestleMania because I did not like Roman Reigns back then. And I was dreading. And I was waiting for him to hit that final spear to freaking beat Brock. And then I hear Seth's music. And I'm like, yes! Here comes CrossFit Jesus freaking running down the ramp.
He freaking ran. He was like, I'm running.
I was thinking to myself, is he in a trip?
Man, the way he ran with that briefcase was awesome.
Good Lord. Like, the atmosphere, the pyro going off. It was great. It was just awesome.
Now, just imagine if Seth Rollins ran down to the ring at the WrestleMania in Orlando with the 85-yard ramp.
Imagine if he fell off the thing. Oh, okay, we're not
Actually, it'd be funny if he'd be running and everything, but at the same time, it would show the ring, and then we'd cut to Seth, and he's not even halfway there. He's like, I'm almost there.
He would be tired.
You know, this kind of actually reminds me of Charles Robinson at WrestleMania 24 when he ran down. He was running down, and like Undertaker had the Tombstone Pile Driver, and he had a pin, and the ref was still running. Oh my God, that was funny.
Down the ramp. I thought he did that actually. He told me like it was a long run, dude. I'm like,
So Ryan, your mindset on when Seth cashed in at Mania.
Oh yeah, I went nuts. And this is actually before I started, Twitter and everything. But I was marking out, and it was an awesome moment for Seth.
And my reaction, of course, to that was, well, I just basically wanted anybody to beat Brock, so that just made it even better.
Like now?
Yes. Except this time we don't have. It might have been we don't have a contract holder yet, but
yet. That's going to change next week, folks.
Well, in a couple of weeks. We still got 2 weeks to go.
In a couple of weeks, still.
But my reaction with Seth cashing in at Mania, I thought it was epic. I was screaming like crazy. I was actually, here's the thing, I watched WrestleMania 31 at a movie theater.
Why can't they do that here in Alabama? My gosh.
I wish they did that here.
Goons.
So it was like one of the best things I've ever seen, one of the best cash-ins I ever witnessed, and I was glad that two great things happened. Seth was my man at the time, and I was like, yeah, Seth Rollins. I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan at the time. And at the same time, Brock was dethroned, so that just made it 2 times better.
Then Seth went on to hold the title until he vacated it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Oh, sad times.
Yep, but let's also talk about later on through 2015. The winner of that Money in the Bank ladder match was Sheamus.
No.
As he outlasted... Who do you outlast?
We cashed it in on, though.
Outlasted Dolph Ziggler, Kane, Kofi Kingston. Yeah, I sang those guys a lot. Neville wasn't it?
Neville, I miss you, Neville.
Randy Orton, and the guy who would eventually cash in on, Roman Reigns.
The big dog.
Yep. Yeah. Not to mention that Bray Wyatt cost them that opportunity at Money in the Bank.
Don't mind.
It started one of the most disturbing robberies I think I've ever seen in the PG era. My gosh, that robbery was weird.
Yeah.
Wait, what robbery? Is it
Reigns and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was
a pretty good robbery though.
It set up the return of the Wyatt family and the debut of Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Braun!
Back when Braun did not have the credibility that he has now, he wasn't.
Back when Braun really didn't say anything at all.
He was wearing a black sheep mask.
I remember the first time he spoke, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it was scary. It scared me at first. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, because he's just kind of a quiet, he's just there, but he never said anything. Now look at him. Everybody loves him.
Now look at him. He's so over.
I know. Like, a lot of people didn't like him at first, but now he's just like,
look at him.
Like he talks and he's over. He's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, that's true.
No pun intended. He is.
So Sheamus, it's like, Willie, what was your mindset on Sheamus winning the briefcase and cashing in on Roman Reigns in Survivor Series?
Oh, the cash in on Reigns. Him winning the briefcase was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Him cashing in on Reigns, I was like, yes, because I didn't like Roman Reigns still, and I knew their agenda. I knew what they were doing going forward, and him cashing in on Reigns just was like so awesome. I was like, thank you, WWE.
Yep.
And that was about it.
Understandable.
I wanted Dean Ambrose to win the freaking title, but that didn't happen.
Kels, what'd you think about Sheamus's win and cash in?
I think him winning it was cool, but I was sad because I was so obsessed with Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Listen,
it's all right.
Roman was my first fave. All right.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I was so.
Oh, so she's been exposed.
Well, thank God, thank God a certain somebody did not hear you obsessing over Roman Reigns.
Certain somebody, you know.
Isn't this like the same certain somebody we kept talking about?
We don't know who we're talking about, though. You know,
I get it now.
I can't remember. We still don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, we don't know who this guy is, you know. He's an irrelevant bum.
Shut up.
Anyways, moving on, Roman Reigns, and...
Why are we laughing?
Mr. fucking
Roman Reigns sucks. Roman Reigns.
I'm gonna have to confront Roman Reigns. Kind of hurt my family a little bit.
I'm gonna confront Roman Reigns one-on-one.
When I see him, I'm gonna have a one-on-one match with them.
And then get my ass speared in 2 seconds.
Anyways, moving on.
So, I guess that trend continues, folks.
Mr. Freaking yell at your TV.
All right,
Sorry.
all right, let's continue on. Ryan, what did you think about Sheamus's win?
Ew.
Okay, so I wasn't really all that, excited about it. I mean, it was Sheamus, so I mean, I do like Sheamus, so I thought it was pretty cool, but I wasn't very all that happy about it. But when he cashed in, I mean, it was pretty good. I thought it was kind of a perfect moment for a cash in, but the reign just kind of wasn't that great because, I mean, he lost it to Roman Reigns, and then we kind of know the rest from there. So it was kind of nah.
The League of Nations, folks.
Understandable.
Oh God.
So, anyway, continue on, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this podcast has been going on for an hour 27 minutes. We're doing a really. Oh, hold on a second. Hold up a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have your popcorn and your soda. Drink water, though, because
Hey,
water's good for you.
by the way, let's see, you guys go ahead and talk about the 2016 Money in the Bank ladder match. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll take the reins here.
2016 Money in the Bank, yes.
All right, let me take over right here. Let me find my notes here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me find it here so I can get it on.
And speaking about...
Y'all go ahead and talk amongst yourselves while I try and find this here.
There was actually someone on Twitter. Let me see if I can find him. I think it was John Cena guy. I think that's John Cena guy on Twitter at John Cena guy 1452. He asked, "Looking forward to the Lizard's Lounge. I was wondering, what is your favorite Money in the Bank ladder match of all time?" Thanks for the question. And so basically, 2016, this Money in the Bank ladder match was my favorite because Dean Ambrose finally won the Money in the Bank.
That's right.
Anyways,
I was freaking happy.
That's right. Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Alberto Del Rio were all in this ladder match. And my man, my dude, Dean Ambrose, freaking climbed that ladder and snatched that briefcase and went on to cash in on Seth Rollins. After he defeated Roman Reigns, though, but
So if you think about it, on the same night, every member of the Shield was the champion.
That is very true. But my boy walked that champ. So I'm happy.
That was crazy.
I was so happy.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment for Dean.
Me being a huge Ambrose mark that I am, I was so happy.
Dean deserved that, though.
Too bad his reign sucked.
His reign was okay. It went down very well before he lost to AJ Styles.
Thank God the man lost to freaking Rose credibility.
Before he lost to AJ Styles. And ever since then, AJ's been the goddamn champion. And it's getting on my nerves. Well, not the whole time, but...
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Might as well be the whole time, because dang.
You've been holding that belt for a long time. It's time to drop it.
Lose the title and Money in the Bank, or I'm going to strangle myself.
No. That's kind of unusual. There's like a certain guy who would probably do that for Roman Reigns, but
Yeah, but we don't know who we're talking about. He'll probably strangle himself with his own hair that he needs to keep brushed.
Yeah, seriously, comb your hair.
And wax your eyebrows while you're at it, bro. Take care of that mustache.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
He keeps thinking about he's waxing his eyebrows, man.
I can't breathe.
All right, let's move on. Actually,
Anyway,
are we gonna move on to we're gonna move on to 2017? Okay.
2017.
Man.
Still in 2016 now, but yeah.
I can't.
Was there any ladder matches in 2016?
I can't.
No. Okay. 2017, folks.
All right. Let's talk about.
Year.
Let's talk first about this. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was a men's because that's the night of the first ever women's. We'll get to the women's a little later, but first off, Baron Corbin won the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yes, this pay-per-view.
You know, I wouldn't laugh at that if he didn't actually fail, but...
You lost it too. No. Not gonna
Never
get
mind.
mad. Not gonna get triggered.
I was pissed.
We were all pissed.
Anyways.
At nearly 30 minutes, this was actually the longest Money in the Bank ladder match ever.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how long this year's is gonna be.
Yeah, well, we had to wait and find out. There's 2 of them, so let's just wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Baron Corbin outlasted AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
We all know how this match went down, ladies and gentlemen. Shinsuke was taken out before the match even began with his entrance, and I thought a fan actually attacked him.
Just imagine.
Oh man.
But yeah, Baron won the ladder match, and first of all, Willie, what'd you think of Baron's victory?
Oh yeah, y'all know my reaction to this. At the time, I was excited, and they ruined it. Go listen to our podcast on this pay-per-view, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Money in the Bank 2017. You'll actually enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, we actually did discuss last year's Money in the Bank.
Yes, we did. Our second podcast, by the way, I think.
Yes, indeed.
So go check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's continue on.
Anyways, moving on. When he cashed in. John Cena, I hate you, buddy. I hate you.
John Cena has been involved in literally every cash-in failure.
I hate you, John Cena. I hate you, Jinder Mahal. Give me a break. Had him freaking lose for whatever reason.
I think it was because he got a little in trouble on social media.
Yeah, he got in trouble because somebody saw on Twitter, so they took it away from him. And I was enraged.
I wanted to fight everybody when he freaking failed.
I was legit
because
angry.
I was like, oh, Baron deserves this. He deserves to hold a title, and he didn't. I mean, he held a title, but he didn't get to cash in the Money in the Bank. I mean, he did, but he failed
in 7 seconds.
He failed. That was the dumbest. He should not have done that. He's such a dumbass for doing that. Anyways.
Yep. Ryan, what'd you think about Baron's victory and then subsequent failure?
I was happy, but I was pissed when he failed his cash in. I legit went on a rant on Twitter.
I know, I remember that.
Yeah, if you remember that, I was very pissed off.
I was ticked.
Ryan went off, sis.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yep.
When he cashed in on that SmackDown, I think it was the go home show for SummerSlam.
Yeah,
when he cashed in,
I was the go home.
I was legit angry. I was like, I was not in a good mood to be messed with on that night. I was not happy.
I didn't even want to get on Skype because of that.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
I was pissed. That's how pissed I was.
I'm like, Ryan, do you want to Skype? And he texts me like, I'm not in the mood. I'm like, okay.
Don't blame you.
Anyways.
Let's see. For me, yeah, I thought it was weird that would happen.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the first ever? You know what? Never mind.
Yeah, we all know where this one's headed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a mistake earlier when I said 2010 was the only one with 3 Money in the Bank ladder matches. I forgot that there was actually 2 women's Money in the Bank ladder matches in the year of 2017.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what we got here is, well, the winner was technically James Ellsworth.
That's right. James Ellsworth. Because he climbed the ladder. Because Carmella told him to climb the ladder. Climbs the ladder, grabs the briefcase, social media goes insane. Like, everyone was legit angry at this idea.
First ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
With one man. Give me a break.
Yep, Carmella outlasted. Well, technically, James Ellsworth outlasted Carmella, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Natalya, and Tamina to win it.
You know, let's take Becky Lynch of all people.
Yep. So, like, Kels, what was your reaction when James won the match?
I remember her reaction.
I was so freaking pissed. I was ranting like crazy. I was like, how are y'all gonna have a man grab the briefcase for the first ever women's Money in the Bank? Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
if you want to hear our real opinions on this, go listen to the podcast for real. We actually let out lots of anger in that.
Yeah, go ahead and it's on the Life of Maracle channel, but you should be able to find it because there's a playlist with the podcast. Mm-hmm. You should be able to find our review on the 2017 Money in the Bank show.
Yep.
But
yeah, anyways.
Let's actually talk about what happened like the following week and everything. Because this is something we did not discuss in that podcast episode, which was the second women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carmella made a lot of history. For one thing, she's technically in terms of the history books, she's the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match winner. She's the first ever 2-time Miss Money in the Bank, and she's the one who holds the contract for the longest number of days at 287.
You're surpassing a legend like Adam Copeland, of all people.
Who the hell is Adam Copeland?
I thought you were going to say Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Let's go.
Not Alan Jones. Adam Cole.
What happened? So yeah, for this case, despite the fact that James Ellsworth was banned from the arena, he still interfered.
Yep.
Only this time, he actually got his comeuppance.
Yes, he did.
And so, however, this time Carmella won fair and square. She's technically the first ever 2-time Miss Money in the Bank because the first one is not scratched off the records. It's still there.
Nope. Yeah, I wish they would scratch it off, but they're not going to.
So she's the first person technically to win both Money in the Bank ladder matches for the women.
Yes, and it makes me sick. God, Carmella, I swear.
Yep.
Oh, she's so bad.
And this was also the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match not to air on pay-per-view.
And it was also 24 minutes, according to Wikipedia.
Wow.
Not 24 minutes, my ass.
24. Well, we're talking during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, Carmella, let's actually talk about this for a second. Kels, what did you think about when Carmella, this time fairly, won the ladder match?
I was like, finally, that should have happened the first time. It was great when she won it, by herself. I just wish it would have happened the first time, and I wish they didn't even have to redo the whole match, you know? I just wish she would have won it herself, but it wasn't her fault.
Yeah, of course not. It was James.
Stupid creative.
No, we're talking about James here. I'm not talking about creative, we're talking about James.
Oh. Well, still.
Let's see, Ryan, what did you think about when Carmella actually won fairly this time?
Well, it was about time they got it right. But it should have happened the first time. I mean, yeah, it was really just kind of, a whole, cluster mess, pretty much. I mean, it shouldn't have had to happen a second time. But, I'm just glad Carmella finally took the briefcase off, and, we know the rest.
Yeah, cashed it in on Charlotte Flair, and she will not let us forget it.
That's true.
Probably the so far greatest moment of Carmella's career, winning the SmackDown Women's title.
Yep, she won the title from Charlotte Flair on the SmackDown after Mania, thanks to the Iconics.
The
Iconic.
Yeah, there's two I's. That makes no damn sense. What's the...
Apparently because of copyright, I guess.
Sorry if you guys can hear noises upstairs. That's we've got some people around here.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, that was basically did you guys enjoy when Carmella actually did cash in and won?
Oh yeah, I was on Skype with these guys. They made my reaction. I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
It was cool. You should have done it at WrestleMania. but I'm sorry, you should have done it at WrestleMania.
And she'd be the one to end Asuka's streak.
Yes, it should still be intact, but don't let me go off.
Yeah, understandable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We went through all the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Whew.
God, that took forever.
We're an hour 40 minutes.
Wow.
I didn't even know that we were gonna do all of those at first. I was like, oh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast if you're still watching this. We're hyping up the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-views coming out in 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go, I want to say we're going to be here next week and the week after.
That's right. 2 weeks of the Losers Lounge, ladies and gentlemen.
Technically 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Technically
3 total weeks.
Yep. There we go.
Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Next week, we're going to be here, the 4 of us again. We're going to be discussing our predictions to NXT TakeOver Chicago and the 2018 Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
That's right.
Yep, and the following week, we're going to be doing our reviews on both those shows.
Hopefully they will be good, but TakeOver's probably going to surpass Money in the Bank.
As usual.
Yeah.
We got Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa again, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that when the time comes.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this edition of the podcast. Willie, did you enjoy talking about the history?
Of course. Very good. Like going back in time, and I had fun as always.
Yep. And Kelsey, what did you think about going back in time to talk about the past?
I thought it was fun. I hope we can do more of these kind of podcasts where we go back and talk about old papers.
We should do one for the Elimination Chamber. That's a good idea. Yeah. We should do one for the Elimination Chamber.
Well, probably we're not going to do. I guarantee we'll not do ones for like the events that have been around for 30 years though, like the Royal Rumble. Because that'd be a little too much.
Definitely.
That'd be a little too much.
Yeah, that would be way too much. Yeah.
That would be a long freaking.
That would be a long podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be like 2 hours.
It'd probably surpass our WrestleMania one that we did on the first return episode.
Yeah.
See, like, yeah. As a matter of fact, this podcast right now is just a little under an hour less than our longest podcast.
I got nothing else to say though. I mean,
yeah, we're pretty much done here. And Ryan, what'd you think about going back into the past?
Wait, was that for me?
Yeah, I said, what did you think about going back in the past?
It was good. Sorry, I kind of cut out a little bit. Apologies. It was fun. I enjoyed talking about the history of these Money in the Bank ladder matches. Of course, Money in the Bank is really one of my favorite pay-per-views to watch, and it's always, fun to, just go back. Even on the WWE Network, I love watching old Money in the Bank ladder matches. So it was fun. So hopefully we can kind of do something like this. I don't know, for whenever. I mean, maybe Survivor Series. Like
we'll definitely consider something fun.
Yeah, like SmackDown versus Raw, Survivor Series, stuff like that.
We'll definitely consider something about that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am Christian Maracle, and it's always fun to be doing the Losers Lounge podcast. Willie, your turn.
I am the heelest of ballers, heel ballers you all know me by, and that's really it from me. I had fun. I always have fun with these guys.
And Ryan?
Hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Thank you guys for watching. Always appreciate it. We appreciate your comments so much. We read through the comments, and for those of you that enjoy it,
we're really glad that
describe it. We thank y'all so much.
Yeah, we're really glad that the podcast has become quite a popular thing on this channel.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, we're actually very surprised with the response that we are actually getting. So we thank you.
Yeah, we thank you guys very much.
There's one personally. She always comments on our podcast. Harley Bliss. She comments on my videos a lot too. Harley Bliss. Yes. You are awesome. You are amazing. Thank you.
You're awesome. Thank you for being an awesome subscriber and watching our content, and especially the Losers Lounge podcast. If you're watching this right now.
Yep. And Kelsey.
Oh, and Adam, if you're watching too, YouTube, bro.
Mm-hmm. I had fun. I always have fun doing these. These are like my favorite. I love doing podcasts with y'all. It's always fun. And
what do you think about the reception?
Can't wait for more.
What do you think about the reception that we've been getting, Kels?
I think it's awesome. Like, I'm glad people have been liking what we're doing. Like, that makes me happy.
Surprised.
Adds more stuff to this channel, and it adds more entertainment for not just my fans, but your guys' fans too.
That's right, guys. It's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys very much.
That's it from the Losers Lounge podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed it. Too sweet and peace.
Too sweet and peace. Does anybody else got a catchphrase or no?
Too sweet, baby.
Copyright infringement. Oh.
That's for my son videos, but I guess no better way to end it than by saying, ladies and gentlemen.
Basically, usually at the end of my videos, I always say, and I will see you all next time.
Nice.
Okay. And as for me, I guess there's no better way of ending it than saying, think optimistically.
That's right.
I'm Maracle, and we are out.